So the template we'll see on the next page. There is an explanatory note that will be at the beginning of a schedule. When I show you the New Zealand schedule, if we have time, I will show you the explanatory note. Second point is that we have the same 4 columns that we have in the GATS. First column lists the subsector, second column is headed limitations on market access, third column has variable names now, but relates to non-discrimination, and the fourth column is additional commitments. So it looks like the GATS one. But there are 4 sections as you scroll down the schedule. So you need to go down the schedule and see there are headings that separate different parts of the schedule. Section A, as we'll see, is only on the non-discrimination rules. And that is what sets out the full policy space reservations. That first part of the schedule at the top is what you are preserving the right to do now and into the future in relation to the non-discrimination rules that it mentions. Right? So that's, if the government tells you that you have full rights to do everything in the future, that's the section that tells you that, but you have to look at careful wording, you have to look at what rules it applies to. Yeah. And it will have in that section A, full policy space section, what is a general or a horizontal piece, applies to every thing, and then sectoral specific ones that give the title and the CPC number for that subsector. And you're going to have a look at these. Then section B, right, we've got the policy space section out, the general and the subsectoral. Then we have section B, which is your standstill and ratchet bit. Right? Only again for the non-discrimination rules. Yeah? Again, generally, and then for specific services. And then we come to market access. And we move to the next column. Yeah? And we have, as in the GATS, horizontal entry on market access by modes. And then we have the sectoral market access by modes with the same language, that counterintuitive language from the GATS. And you will sometimes see something specific on non-discrimination next to the market access one as well. Don't ask me why. There's just a specific reason sometimes for some entries that they want to make a specific provision. Okay, so this is what I've just described. Right? So we have the same headings. Oh, I haven't. Damn, I thought I'd changed that. Subsector, limitations on market access, limitations on now, some of them are saying non-discrimination rather than national treatment because there are more rules than just national treatment, and then additional commitments. And so we will have some horizontal commitments in terms of the first section, which will be dealing with, oh damn, it's not the one I had on the USB. It's still got Chile in there. Horizontal commitments, what did I say the first section was? What things are you preserving? Right, full policy space, right? So, and you will say in relation to these obligations, Chile reserves the right to adopt or maintain any measures in specific sectors, subsectors or activities listed below. So the equivalent of what I showed you about New Zealand reserves the right to maintain or adopt the full policy space to the extent they are social services for a public purpose. We have that now in TiSA. We imported it from TPP. Yeah? That's a full policy space one, has the same wording issues around it. Yeah? And then we have in the second section, the standstill and ratchet. The party maintains limitations on national treatment in the following sections: standstill at existing measures and ratchet for new liberalisation. Yeah? So when you're looking at the schedule, you'll see that first side. Yeah? And that will be your policy space, followed by your standstill and ratchet. Whatever is not in there is being committed to the non-discrimination rules, unless somewhere down in the morass at the bottom there's something that's protected something in national treatment. You with me? Yeah?
Yes, but which section is this?
You mean A and B? Yeah. We're going to look it up. Yeah. I just want to get this structured for now. Then we go across to the one that is going to look like the GATS. Right? We have the horizontal schedules, and then we have the market access. Right? We go back to environmental services, what we had in the GATS. Right? We specify the environmental service. Then we list the limitations, 1, 2, 3, 4, none, unbound, whatever. And then we might list something additional that we haven't mentioned up there for national treatment, but it would be subject to standstill and ratchet. But there aren't many down there, so don't get too worried about that one. Right?
First, you have the positive list where you mention the sectors or areas where the government allows foreign companies to compete with national companies. The market access. Then the negative list defines or further specifies the national treatment of the companies that are allowed to compete with national companies. So is it like a subsequent to column A?
No. It's not saying that the national treatment, that the non-discrimination rules only apply to what you're opening on market access. It applies to everything.
So it assumes that there is market access already?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more?
Obligations under the non-discrimination rules don't apply only to the subsectors where you have given market access commitments in the positive list side. If you think, for example, one of the rules is not requiring a local presence. And so, that's clearly you haven't restricted them from market access if they're able to come in, but you may not have made a commitment to it. A commitment isn't the only right to come in. It's just saying that you are committed not to changing that.
That is due to the wording in the core text, not in the statute.
No, I mean, there is nothing to stop us all unilaterally liberalising services and allowing companies in. What this is doing is restricting us in relation to the way we can limit them doing that. So lots of our countries have liberalised very extensively, but we may not have committed that liberalisation in a trade and services agreement. What the market access column does is to promise that we will keep the access open. That doesn't mean that if we have allowed a company to come in and it's not listed in the market access guarantees that we don't have to provide them with non-discrimination if we've taken a non-discrimination commitment to them. It doesn't apply only to those that are listed in the market access column. Let me give you a practical example. If New Zealand has an open door policy to allow, we've got so many examples to choose from, foreign broadcasting companies to come in and operate without any local content quotas in New Zealand, and we haven't made any commitments on audiovisual services that allow them to come in, and we want then to introduce a discriminatory rule that says foreign companies must show local content, but local companies don't have to. We haven't made a commitment to them in market access, but we still have to give them non-discriminatory treatment. We can't treat them differently.
This one I'm lost.
Okay.
To broadcast in New Zealand if New Zealand is not even market
But we don't have to